The difference between I'll think about it and I need this right now is just one thing: positioning. When you get this right, your clients feel like they hit the jackpot when they find you, pay without hesitation, and thank you for selling them your high ticket offer. But get it wrong, and you get leads who hesitate, price shop, hit you with every objection in the book, or need endless convincing to buy. Because the most sought after businesses don't chase clients, and they don't rely on fancy sales scripts or objection handling tactics. And they definitely are not wasting time trying to prove their worth. They create demand so that when their clients find them, it feels like they hit the jackpot. So if you want clients who feel like working with you is the best decision they've ever made, you need to understand how to create demand through brand positioning. Because you can have the best offer in the industry, but if people can't instantly say, this is exactly what I've been waiting for, you'll always be chasing demand instead of creating it. So in this episode, I'll show you how to tap into the high value desires your market is begging for a solution to, and how to create brand positioning that makes your clients feel like they hit the jackpot by finding you. So let's dive in. Now, hey, and welcome back to the Business Real Talk, where we go beyond surface level strategies and get real about what actually drives sustainable growth in expert-led businesses without all the fluff. Now, last week, we tackled lead generation and why most business owners are doing it backwards. We broke down why chasing more eyeballs or running more ads before you actually are ready doesn't bring in the right clients, and what to do instead to attract qualified, high-intent leads from the very first minute instead of qualifying leads until they buy. But here's the thing. Even with the best lead gen strategy in the world, none of it matters if your positioning is off, because you can't manufacture desire. You can't force someone to want your offer or expertise, and you sure as hell can't convince them into seeing your value if they don't already feel it from the moment they find you. That's the power of positioning that creates demand. It makes the right people say, where have you been all my life, before they ever reach out to you. Because let's be honest, you want people coming to you in your inbox, on your calendar, sharing your podcast posts, and anything you share, because they believe that people need to know about you. And you want to have a wait list for your work where people have paid a deposit just eagerly waiting until it's their turn because they want you and only you. Where clients are saying things like, I don't even care how much it costs, I just know that this is exactly what I need, paying your premium prices without blinking. That's the dream, right? But right now, you may be feeling the effects of slower buying, people holding off on investing in high ticket, and the feeling that you're pulling teeth to get people to pull the trigger and say yes. And the things that used to work so well just aren't getting you the results that you're used to. And that's going to bleed into every part of your business and your life, because when you're chasing demand instead of creating it, it feels like you're always starting from scratch, chasing new leads, building new offers, creating the right ads or content that will finally make your offer irresistible. It's draining. And no matter how good you are at what you do, if the right people don't feel the urgency to buy, your business ends up stuck in a constant cycle of hustle and holding your breath. But here's the deal. Most experts try to fix this by focusing on tactics. They think, maybe I just need a better offer, more urgency, or stronger sales skills. So they start tweaking the offer, like stacking bonuses, rewriting the sales page, playing the pricing game, trying to make it irresistible. And then if that doesn't work, they add urgency, live launches, countdown timers, limited time bonuses, hoping pressure will push people to buy. And when that doesn't work, they double down on sales, learning how to handle objections, build rapport, close the deal, or hire a sales team so they can take all of that on for them. But you can't outmarket poor positioning. And you definitely can't convert clients who don't feel an immediate desire for what you do, because urgency only works when people already want what you're offering. Sales tactics only convert people who are already convinced. And a perfectly priced, feature-packed offer isn't going to move the needle if no one sees it as essential. So the real reason they're not buying is that right now they see your offer as nice to have, not a can't live without. And it's why no amount of marketing urgency or add-ons is going to get people to move. It's kind of like offering a 5-star steak dinner to a vegetarian. It doesn't matter how premium it is, how perfectly packaged it is, they were never craving it in the first place. See, your service can absolutely be incredible, but if there's no desire, none of it matters. Desire is what turns interest into demand, where people feel like they hit the jackpot when they find you because it feels like you're the answer to their prayers. I call this the jackpot effect. And it works by meeting the high value burning desires that already exist in your market and taking those and positioning your offer as the clear and immediate pathway to getting what they want most. That's when you stop needing to convince and become the chosen. So let's break it down, because the jackpot effect is created through two key elements: unmet desires and desire-driven positioning. But before we jump into that, I need you to understand this. No amount of pushing is going to create demand where desire doesn't already exist, because you can't actually manufacture desire. It either exists or it doesn't in your clients, which means your job is not to convince people to want what you offer. It's to position what you do in a way that connects to the desire they already have and they're already walking around with. When you do that, your offer doesn't just sound good, it feels right. It clicks, it becomes obvious. And that's when someone goes from maybe later to where do I pay? The problem is most businesses get this wrong. They focus on what their clients need, not what they desire, okay? This is why you see people who seem interested, but they don't buy. Why you have amazing results for your clients, but still struggle to get new ones knocking down your door. So let's look at the difference between needs-based versus desired-based positioning. So let's start with needs-based positioning. Let's say that you offer cybersecurity software, and your needs-based positioning is, we offer cybersecurity software to protect your business from data breaches and comply with regulations. It sounds really responsible and necessary, right? Because it is. But it does not inspire anyone to act right now. It feels like another expense or another headache, something that's non-essential. So when you have something that feels like it's nice to have, not something that's must have, then people are slow to act. Now on the flip side, desire-based positioning looks like this. Wake up to new customers buying daily, no hesitation, because your secure website earns their trust from the very first click. So you and your buyers have a peace of mind. This concept connects to a clear, tangible desire that they want, the peace of mind, confidence, and security to grow without worry. You see the difference? While one focuses on what they need, which is often abstract or easy to overlook, this focuses directly on what they desire. And the reality is people are driven by desire, not by need. So when people wake up in the morning, they think about what's hot on their mind is the most pressing desires in their lives. Now, one of the key caveats that I want to take a little step away from you to understand is that the way people have prioritized their desires has shifted. So you probably have experienced it where 4 to 5 years ago, it probably felt a lot easier to get someone to buy. And the reason why is that there was a bigger disposable income. There was people buying things that they didn't necessarily have to have, that wasn't necessity for them, wasn't essential for them, because they had more of that disposable income. But right now, things have shifted, and the way that people buy has shifted too, because they're no longer buying things that are not necessary and essential. So you're going to notice a shift in that. That doesn't mean that you need to reinvent your entire marketing system. What it means is that you need to prioritize speaking to high intent buyers versus mid intent buyers, because mid intent buyers were the people who were spending more money even when it wasn't a necessity. They were also the people who maybe didn't always show up, who asked for refunds after the fact. They were the people who weren't quite fully committed. This wasn't priority number one for them, but they thought it was good enough, something necessary enough. Versus right now, people are only buying essentials, but your offer can absolutely be essential if you understand how to make your positioning really geared towards that essentialism, that must-have opportunity. This is the shift in positioning that turns interest into urgency, because it's going to bridge their natural desire to your solution. So remember, people are driven by their own desires. It's what fuels and excites them, and ultimately what gets them to say, where do I sign up? And it's the key to creating demand where you become must-have, that can't live without solution, with a wait list of clients. And when you do this, your marketing on the flip side also feels like it's no longer a sales pitch and starts feeling like you're doing something incredible. So how do you create this jackpot effect in your business? It comes down to two things. First one is unmet and high value desires. Now, these are the real things that your clients want, but they're oftentimes buried under what they say they want. So yes, people want leads. Leads are great, right? But why do they want leads? What doors does it open up to when we solve your lead problem? Or yes, I want to lose weight, but why do I really want to lose weight? Like, I'm not waking up in the morning and saying, gosh, all I want to do is lose weight. I'm sitting there saying, I want to feel really freaking confident in a bikini by the beach, right? Those are the deeper desires that people have. And those unmet and high value desires are what drive people to action. So they're not vague aspirations like grow your business, increase visibility. I have this conversation with my clients all the time. You need to understand the desires that they feel deeply, the ones that have have tangible impact on their daily lives and decision making. So again, go deeper. If you're sitting there and talking about a need, it's obvious why your message isn't landing. It's obvious why your content doesn't get conversions, because you're focusing on a need. But if you also speak to a desire that is just surface level, like here's how to get 10 leads, you're probably not getting the level of clientele you want, and or you're getting people who come in and they hang out, but they don't actually make buying decisions. They say, this is great, eventually I should sign up for this, but not right now. So I want you to instead see some examples that might help you kind of visualize this. So they don't just want more sales. An example would be, here's how to get more sales. Instead, they want to wake up to Stripe notifications without worrying if their launch flop. That's tangible. It's specific. It's an outcome that's bigger than just more sales. Or they don't just want a team. They want to take a 2-week vacation without the business falling apart. It's bigger, right? They don't just want to scale. They want to double their revenue without adding 10 more hours to their work week. They don't just want marketing help. They want to have people apply to work with them daily, pre-sold and ready to buy. And they don't just want to stand out. They want to be the one that people quote, reference and binge because no one else sounds like them. So when you tap into these kinds of desires, your message hits different. It doesn't just make sense. It feels right because it mirrors what they've been hoping for behind the scenes. So this is exactly what I do with my clients. If you're wondering what the heck needs to happen, definitely hit me up. I can share with you how we help our clients actually identify the unmet and high value needs and desires in their market and how they can actually relate that back. But the second piece of the puzzle, what I call desire-driven positioning, okay? Here's what most people get wrong in this. They either are gonna list out their method like it's a to-do list. So we already know when we talk about positioning, we focus on a method-based positioning approach. Now, what most people will do is they'll look at their method and they'll make this like to-do list. So we audit your funnel, we optimize your offer, and then we set up an automated email flows, right? Or they talk just about the surface level outcomes. So you can grow, scale, and get more clients, right? Like the basic stuff that sounds like fluff when we listen to it. Now, the result is you're either going to educate or generalize, but you're absolutely not going to activate the desire that turns interest into action. So the real key is desire-driven positioning. So let's take a look at what it looks like. You don't just talk about your method, you position every single step as the key to getting something they already want. So instead of saying, here's what you need to fix, you say, here's how we get what you've been craving. So let me show you what this looks like in action. Let's say that you've created what we call the trust layer method. So this would be for a web agency or a brand strategist, right? They're someone who has expertise with unique visibility to conversion process. Now, there's 3 pillars to their trust layer method. Number 1, signal clarity. Number 2, trust builders. Number 3, conversion touch points. So I want you to think about how we would reposition each pillar from what it does to what it gets them, aka what they already want. I call these known desires. So signal clarity. The old way would be we clarify your message and make your positioning stand out, right? Desire-driven way would be so when the right people land on your page, they instantly know you're the one they've been looking for without needing to scroll or think twice. It's deeper, right? The desire is to be seen as the obvious choice in a crowded market. So their second pillar would be trust builders. The old way is we set up proof points, we visual trust signals, and social credibility markers. The desire-driven way is imagine buyers feeling so confident in you from the start because every part of your brand and site quietly proves you can trust me to deliver. Right? The desire there is that they want to eliminate buyer hesitation, create such massive confidence without over-explaining or hard selling. Now, the third piece of the pillar would be conversion touch points. Old way would be we optimize your call to actions and lead flows to increase conversions. Like, okay, cool. Sounds good. Sounds like something a million other people would do for me. Desire-driven way. What if people took the next step without overthinking it? Because your site leads them naturally to a sale like it was their idea all along. Can you feel the difference, right? And you sum it up with the trust layer method isn't just about better design or clearer messaging. It's about turning every part of your online presence into something that builds belief, fast tracks decisions, and gets your best clients excited to say yes. This is the difference. Instead of shouting about what they need to fix, you're creating this natural bridge that speaks to every micro desire that your clients already have and that they're already walking around with. And it connects those desires directly to steps inside of your method. When you do this, you don't just sound like another expert. They feel like you're the one who finally gets it. That's the jackpot effect because your offer stops sounding like more work or another to-do list. It feels like the missing piece they've been hoping someone would finally deliver. I just had a call with someone today who said, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? I am just so excited to chat with you, knowing that you are the solution. And that shift from positioning around needs to deeply rooted desires is what flips the switch from I'll think about it to where do I sign up? Now, this is just one piece of the puzzle inside of the ECS method. I want you to understand the power behind why I won't shut up about this method is because I understand there's a deeper process behind this. And it starts with understanding the three key pieces. Number one, winning the market. Your best clients, the ones who already know, who are ready to buy, who are not looking for another take on the same thing. They're searching for a breakthrough, something that makes them say, this is what I've been waiting for. So while most businesses are fighting for attention, smart experts are making their competition irrelevant. So with our innovative gap methodology, we help you uncover and articulate what actually makes your work truly innovative by actually pinpointing the gap in the market that only you can fill. This means you're not another option. You're the only option for high intent buyers. So instead of chasing and convincing, you create demand where high end clients seek you out, instantly see your value, and invest without hesitation. This step alone has allowed my clients to 5 to 10x their prices, have clients lining up to work with them. Now, the next step, once we have the innovative method, is turning it into a bingeable decision system. So I want you to think of how Netflix gets you to sit down, binge watch an entire series without taking any breaks, and you become this die-hard fan. Now, imagine that your buyers did the same thing with you, where they binge their way through your sales system, and with every episode, they become obsessed, selling themselves on you every single step of the way. We call this the bingeable decision system, and it works because we mirror the natural decision process that everyone goes through so that your buyers can binge their way through your sales system, coming out so eager, so ready to work with you, they beg to get on your calendar and join your program. No more chasing, no more months of back and forth, no more feeding your audience so much content your brain hurts. Just a simple system that gets your leads to sell themselves. Now, the third and final piece is about delivering on the promise you made. Because sustainable businesses understand that marketing and sales alone is not enough. You have to be able to deliver on your promise and create raving fans. This is why we've built our Happy Client Machine, the systematic approach to delivering world-class results to your clients at scale without being fully reliant on you. So you have clients who are singing your praises to anyone that they meet while actually being able to enjoy your life. This is the power of the EasyS method, where you're building the systems, the strategies, the innovation that takes your industry, but also the world by storm. And you become the most talked about and most bought from expert. So if you're an action taker and you want to see how the EasyS method can be applied inside of your business, I want to invite you to apply for a growth optimization call. This call, you and I will sit down, we'll review your approach to getting consistent clients, and I'm going to specifically share with you where I see the opportunity points for you to position your work so people are chasing you down. And then I'll share with you how the EasyS method can be applied to turn your expertise into a bingeable masterpiece. If you're ready to apply for your call, head on over to easysleads.com/call. But if you're new around here, or you just want to learn a little bit more about how the Netflix effect actually works to get leads to sell themselves, I want to invite you to check out our limited time on-demand series that shares the 3 steps on how to get your leads to sell themselves. You can do it anytime. Head on over to thenetflixeffect.com. Now, I hope that you've walked away from today's episode understanding that if we want people to buy immediately, without giving it a second thought, without hesitating, without feeling like maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, you need to be able to become the must-have solution. And the key to this is learning how to use the jackpot effect to your advantage. This is how we shift from this sounds great, maybe later, to holy crap, I can't live without you. It's everything I've ever been looking for. Yes, please take my money right now. So if you have experienced a shift, if this has made you think differently about how you approach your business, how you approach marketing, how you approach the way that you're able to change what you do, I would love and appreciate if you could take just 1 minute out of your already busy schedule and just rate, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend so that we can help create a movement amongst all these other industry experts. But until next time, here's to keeping it real.